Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Brent McGrath, and I'm the host of Talks and Discussions, What Matters and What Doesn't Matter. And today we have a young lady from Zacatecas. Her name is Carmen Gomez. How are you doing today, Carmen?
Hi, Brent. I'm doing great. And you?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to your space.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Let's talk about your background. Can you give our audience some information about who Carmen Gomez is?
Yes, of course. More than happy to. Well, I'm a single mother, two beautiful boys. I've been living here in this beautiful place, Lakichik, Chapala, for 6 years so far. I come from a family of seven. We were seven brothers, 5 women, 2 boys. My dad was Colombian. My mom Mexican. They met in Guanajuato, where my mom is from. And where my dad was a chemist industrial engineer. He was a very smart man and that loved to have children. And the way I grew up, it was very funny, the way my dad raised us, it was very particular, very peculiar. Mm-hmm. He was a very well-educated man, a foreigner from another place. He has to move to Mexico because of political reasons. Mm-hmm. He was an exiled from his country, and he was not very much into secular education. So he decided to give us homeschool. He was a teacher of science, history, math, mm-hmm. all of those things that we don't really like at school.
Right.
He used to be a teacher of college, actually, too. So he decided that we need to study at home, and we used to have a family business at home. We used to repair like lab equipment and hospitals, college, clinic labs, since we were very young, very, very young, very little with my dad. And we used to move from home to town all the time. So we were 7 brothers, and every sister and brother was born in a different town, different state. Yeah. Okay. So, mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why, we kind of know many parts of the country. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that leads me into my second question. Yeah. How do you remain positive in this difficult time that we're in?
Well, right now, after I guess a lot because of my background, mm-hmm. That way of growing so, let's say, unstable, mm-hmm. very full of changes. I think, and my personal belief in these times that we're living right now is that, I love to live in Mexico in these times. I think we're in a blessed place, in a very blessed place to have some sort of freedom compared to other countries right now. Okay. We are people that grow among the, difficulties. Mm-hmm. And specifically in my case, in my personal case, with my dad, with my family, with the background of my dad, who have these issues set back in his country, to be in a foreign country, to raise us all at home, working from very young age, be moving all the time, created in me a mentality of, if you have an obstacle in front of you, mm-hmm. if you have a challenge, if you have a problem, is to fix it. Mm-hmm. If you have an obstacle, is to get it out of the way. If you need to find a solution for something, just focus on the solution. We're going to make it, no matter how. So that's how I grew up. And in my life, that's how I see life every day. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I think that's a very good way to see life, just focusing on the solutions that you have right now. And just think about how you're going to accomplish, or how you're going to get over certain situation with what you have at the moment at the best way possible. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I know, living in Mexico, are you a Catholic? You have Catholic religion?
No, it's funny because my dad, besides being a very strange person, he was communist.
Okay.
He was an extreme radical communist. That's why he was exiled from his country, because he joined the revolution movement, etc. So in my house, and my dad being besides our father, being our teacher, being our boss, being our everything,
Mm-hmm.
in the house was no religion at all. He used to talk sometimes about Jesus as a amazing human being, but never nothing about faith was shared at home.
Okay.
So let's say I grew up with no Catholic background at all.
Okay.
When I turned 28, I was already a single mother. Obviously, between I was young with my dad and get out of home and live very difficult experience outside of the world, because I wasn't home way too much and my family was everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
To face a world full of difficulties was shocking, full of people with all kind of mentalities, and I used to trust in every person, and that led me to many problems, and into a life of extreme. Let's say a lot of extremes in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, when I turned 28, I have an experience. I have a spiritual experience, but I felt for the first time what faith is. Something that totally changed my life. And that's how I start to believe in God, basically. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So leading into that, how has faith helped you get through these difficult times that we're in now?
Well, let's say this has been the most important part of my life ever since. I'm a resilient person. I have always considered myself resilient.
Mm-hmm.
I have always considered myself a person that difficulties, instead of, yes, I fall, yes, I make mistakes, yes, I feel sometimes full of guilt or shame for, I should do this better or that better. But faith has changed my perspective in everything.
Mm-hmm.
About how do I conceive life, about how do I see people. Because faith gives you a very beautiful ingredient, and it's called love. Something that faith is fed by love, and it teaches you to love people, to forgive, to see life in a light way. It's very difficult that we know in certain of what we have around the corner in our life. We can have plans, we can idealize a life, we can have goals, but this year, and difficulties teach us that life can change at any moment in a very unexpected way. And if you don't find a purpose in the changes that you're going through, it is really difficult as a person to mentally or intellectually understand why these changes happen. Sometimes we can get lost into failure.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a sense of you have faith, and when I talk about faith, it can sound very like, what's that about? It's a sense of purpose.
Right.
It's that conviction in your heart that leads you to everything has a divine purpose. You might not understand it right now,
Mm-hmm.
but you will see it if you keep walking towards that. So yes, I'm a woman that prays, I'm a woman that super get confused many times and don't understand what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened when I don't understand. I pray. I changed my perspective from inside out, and that changes everything. So yes, that's the way I live life. I find a purpose for every day. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure that you're probably like most of us in that area. So what I find intriguing in your life is how you got your current job, because we had talked about this before we started the interview, but for me, this is kind of intriguing. So can you explain or shed some light on how you got your previous job right now, or your current job?
Yeah, well, I didn't talk about that before, but I will talk to you more, because we spoke before about that, just to share here with the people that is listening to us. Well, I've been living here in this town, this beautiful place for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here when I was married at the time, and my boys, I have two boys, and they were super young back then. The oldest was 10, and my youngest was 5, 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So little after we moved here, my husband walked away. He left home, and I was obviously younger, left alone with two boys, and my little sister was living with me. And wow, if I need my faith back then. Yeah, it was difficult. And I remember, and this is a little town, as and back
Mm-hmm.
then, 6 years ago, it was not as much people as it is now. Right now, it's been more people, things, much more buildings, and
Mm-hmm.
everything. This town is growing. But back
Yeah.
then, it was more like a little town. It was like, I don't know anybody. I was living in a city before I just moved here. And then we moved here, and it was like, I don't know anybody. I'm in a little town. What am I going to do here? So I remember I went and I took like applications to different places, and the only job available back then was dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
And never in my life, I used to work as a dishwasher at home. But come on, I needed the money. So I took the job, and they used to pay 600 pesos a week.
Mm-hmm.
If I can at least buy some food, don't have starvation, that would be great,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I took the job, and I remember that the owners of this little restaurant that I was working in, oh God, I was to wash so much dishes. My bag. Never washed so many dishes in my life. And the owners had another restaurant in Huatulco,
Okay.
and they had cameras in the little place. And they called the manager one day and asked him, what is that young lady doing washing dishes? Does she speak English? And he said, oh, yes, she does. But to put her outside with the people so people can see her, so they promote me as a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
So I was making, after 2 weeks of being a dishwasher, I was working as a waitress at this little restaurant, making 3-4 times more money than I was making before.
Right.
And to some friends, I met these people, and they offered me a job in the best restaurants of Ajijic back then as the personal assistant of the owners of this restaurant. So in a matter of 2 months, my life changed, a lot. But my boys were too young, and I don't really have time to work 8, 9, 10 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to spend more time with my boys. So I decided to become kind of independent. And I used to do a little bit of work as a realtor back in Puerto Vallarta. I had my diploma of studies about that. So I decided to change my career and start to be a realtor. And I was working in real estate for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, when the COVID started, sales stopped. I mean, I wasn't selling anything. I wasn't renting anything. Canadians, Americans start to leave town. I don't know if you remember, but everybody started to leave and let's go. And,
Yeah.
the end of the world's coming. You better go back home and die there, right? So everybody started to leave. People what they was planning on buying, they suddenly stopped buying things. I have some co-workers who are realtors too, so they kind of still sell some, but the market is definitely not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't the circumstance of me after 5 years working in real estate, just, oh, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
So through some really, really good friends that I know from, I don't know, I didn't tell you that, but I love service.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, I used to do service in an orphanage here. And I met this wonderful couple who had an orphanage in Guatemala. Actually, I've been in Guatemala in their orphanage. And through service, I met these people, and we have this beautiful connection, of service and helping others and stuff that lead me to this job that I have now. Michael is his name, referred me to this company, European company. What they do is they work with natural products, health products,
Mm-hmm.
and they launched their product in America, in the United States 7 months ago. And they need some bilingual person that can help them, in the customer service area.
Mm-hmm.
In a matter of, I was doing my shift in my office that day, everything was dead. I was just doing it like, what am I going to do next month? You know? And I received this text message from Michael saying, hey, girl, I don't know how you're doing. You know, I received this text from a friend of mine, and the first person that came to my mind was you. You know, they need somebody who is bilingual, who is like great with people.
Yep.
And we know you and we love you, and we really wanted to offer the job to you. I don't know if you want to take it, but here it is. Salary was good, you know, American salary in Mexico is great.
Yep.
So in a matter of 3 hours after that, I was in the job interview, and I considered that job God's answer to my prayers, you know, because it was really given to me, and I've been doing my best in the job. So right now I'm working in this company. It's an international company. I'm the head of customer service of this place.
Right on. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So one thing that you're proving though is faith is the place to be.
Yeah, mostly this, that it is a resilience, persistence, attitude, and perspective, you know, but the seed of these things, the seed of all of these 4 virtues to me has been always faith. Because when you work in your own strength, when you work in your own vision, which is good, it can be amazing. You can be the most positive person, you know, but you definitely need to have that fire in you, that goal, that engine, that, you know, motivation in you that is bigger than everything that is so changeable in this world. Right. And to me, faith has been that reason that don't ever change, is always there, available to me at any moment, and will always be there no matter the circumstances. And actually that is the key for me to change my circumstances. Yeah. And also what you do, the attitude that you have to other people, what you do from your heart, you're going to bear the fruit in the future. Like I met these people 3 years ago through service. I was not making any money in service. I was a volunteer. I was doing things from my heart, still being a single mother, still working, but I was just putting the seed of my faith, doing things for other people that I love. You know, I was putting the seed of my conviction, of my love for others. And sooner or later, that seed will always bear a good fruit. And it happens with good actions or with bad actions. So I prefer to put a good seed. So yeah, that's my main message to people that can watch this video, that the seed that you put in the ground will always give you the fruit, a good fruit, if you plant it with faith and you have good attitude to life.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Carmen, for coming on the show tonight. I really enjoyed your message. I enjoyed all the things that you had to share with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure for me to share a little bit of my life with all of you.
Okay. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.